Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. I'm your host, John Harcar, and I'm here today with Craig and Drew, and we're going to talk about how not all leads are created equal. Remember, guys, at Investor Fuel, we help real estate investors, service providers, and really all real estate entrepreneurs 2 to 5x their business. And we do that by providing tools, resources, things that will help you grow the business you want to build and kind of grow the life you want to live. Craig, Drew, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us. It's awesome to be here.
Yeah, right on, man. Like we said before we got on live, lead generation is something that, I spend a lot of time in, and I have it's something that's close to my heart. But before we kind of talk about how you guys got into it and get into the weeds of things, tell us how, you guys got into real estate. What's your, what got you here?
Got it. Yeah. So I come from a sales background, right? And I got into real estate, just went the traditional way. I did not want to be a realtor, so I knew the only other option would be to wholesale properties, right? Find off-market distressed sellers and, sell those properties for an assignment fee. Mm-hmm. That's how I got into it. And then from there, it's just bloomed. We've done fix and flips, buy and hold, rentals, every type of deal you can think of. And then just recently, this past year, me and Andrew got together. He was one of the marketers for my fix and flip business. And then we just got together, created Lead House 365, which now we can provide other investors that may be, dealing with the lack of leads or quality in leads, prime leads that we consider would be a good candidate, coming from someone like me who's been in the business and understands what actually drives motivation in these sellers when they want to sell their property.
Got it. And how did you learn real estate? I mean, did you just pick up a course? What did you do to actually make that jump?
Friend of a friend. One of my friends from the gym, he introduced me to somebody who was doing wholesale, and he described what he was doing, and it did not make any sense at all because I was used to seeing HGTV, flip your house,
flip my house, and
all those TV shows about it. And that's what I thought he was telling me about, but I didn't understand there was a loophole, in the system where you can get a contract on a property and sell the actual contract to somebody else and mark it up for a fee. So he was telling me this, and it was hard to explain until I fully understood it. Mm-hmm. And then I just took that model and, I see that hey, there's wholesalers in everything, not just real estate. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're not owning inventory. They're just moving it for somebody else, putting a fee on top.
They're selling paper. How long did it take you to get your first deal, your first wholesale deal?
I would say overall, probably 6 to 8 months. But wow. Okay. Those 6 to 8 months, it was a lot of, second guessing. Am I doing this right? Should I even be doing this? Mm-hmm. And then I think I had a, kind of like a revelation that, hey, I'm going to continue working a dead-end job for the rest of my life if I don't double down and make a change, right?
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
And once I realized that, hey, I'm not putting enough effort into to wholesaling, that's when everything changed, and I took it more serious. And I would think probably, it took me 6 to 8 months to get a deal.
And I think that's important, right? The mindset piece is huge, that, when you've been battling for so long, right, and you don't see those results and you stick with it and then they come, it's just like,
yeah, it's just like anything else. You only fail if you quit.
Yeah. So then you ditched wholesaling to get into flipping?
Yeah, I did fix and flips and buy hold properties for a little while too. I still do it. I like it, but it's not the pace. It's not the fast pace that like wholesaling was, in and out, quick closes, checks. Yeah. But there is some other benefits to it. There's bigger profits, and then there's also better tax, write-offs.
Implications, yeah, for sure.
Definitely. So I'll always be a real estate investor. But me and Andrew's business with the lead generation is just, it moves fast paced, just like normal, wholesale acquisitions company would. And we're talking to all the same people. So, all of the buyers we used to have for our deals, they need leads too, because they, at one point or another, they realized that, hey, a wholesaler just made 25 grand on a deal. If I was able to contract that with the seller, I would have an extra 25K in my bottom line. So it's, we can provide value everywhere in this business.
Sure. Yeah. And it's funny, because that's how I got into wholesaling, is I was selling leads and all that stuff. And I saw guys making like 50 grand on a $1,000 list that they bought from me. I'm like, well, what am I doing, dude? I'm on the wrong side of this business. All right. So you got that going. You got your flips going. Drew, where are you? Where do you play in this game? How did you even get into marketing for real estate?
Yeah. So my main background in marketing was really in e-commerce, digital products, high ticket coaching. I have been doing digital advertising for probably 15 years now. My first job out of college after grad school was at a marketing agency, and I went to school for business, and I thought I'd be like, maybe getting into sales or something like that, but it ended up being in digital advertising. So I started learning like Google Ads and SEO. This was probably 2010. After that, I went along with one of my mentors, and we started a company where we were running Facebook ads. And this is, getting closer now. We're looking at like 2017, where Facebook ads is kind of the wild, wild west. And a lot of people were making a lot of money back then on Facebook ads. And so we started launching digital products for influencers. So we partner with an influencer. We build a business. It might be a supplement company or a digital product. And then we would launch those on Facebook ads. And we were just thrown to the fire. We were spending, $30,000 a day on ads and making about $30,000 a day in profit at times. And it's at its peak. So learned really high level media buying and advertising. Learned all about customer journeys and funnels and tracking, and it's all important. And that led me to start my own e-commerce agency right before COVID, which was one of the best times to launch a digital marketing agency, because all of a sudden all these people are stuck at home on their computers.
Yeah, exactly. No one's leaving the house. They're all on their computers.
And everyone's getting $1,200 checks deposited in their bank. They're looking for something to buy, right? So it was a great time. And so I have an e-commerce agency, and Craig and I went to, we probably go back to kindergarten or elementary school when we first met, but we've known each other our entire lives. And he asked for some help doing lead gen, and I was like, lead gen, to me, that's easy, because I've been doing, where you spend $30,000 a day on ads and they expect profit off that
Sure.
day one. You need to have profit day one or you're fired. It's high, it's really high stakes, and it's a form of gambling, really.
Right.
But it's fun. And so
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
we started launching this process for him, funnels and ads building for inbound, and we started getting at leads for him in Houston for like $30 by the time it took us like a year and a half, 2 years to dial it in, but we were getting them so cheap. And so we were like, we have, Craig and his peers who are also wholesalers, real estate investors, were paying $400 a lead. When it comes down to, like, they gave a company $7,000 up front and they ended up with enough leads that averages out to $400 per lead. We were like, and they were like, they didn't get a single deal from it. He was hearing so many horror stories compared to what he was doing with his business. We were like, there's an opportunity here for us to really help people. Like,
The
with
light
what
turned
we,
on.
what we built, and we have something unique that I don't think other people are doing. And I think it's a combination of Craig really knowing the real estate industry and me learning it as we go, but me and my marketing background and specifically advertising background, when you pair that with us knowing exactly what a lead for a wholesaler should look like, compared with the tools and the tactics to be able to generate them for the lowest cost, and how to build that entire process to do it. We launched this company summer of last year, and quickly it's become pretty much both of our full-time has to become our full-time jobs because how quickly it's grown.
Nice. And I really want to stress the compliment of your skill sets, right? One doing what the other can't really do, or utilizing a weakness that's mine, you have that strength, right? Mm-hmm. And by you guys being able to couple that together, I mean, I think that's huge, especially with you, Craig, knowing the avatar. All you got to do is develop it to find it, right? And that's so key. So what does your business look like? Oh, let me back up a little bit. What were some of the biggest challenges when you guys got together and you started this business? What are the biggest challenges that you ran across?
I think probably the biggest challenge we find is somebody comparing us to other lead gen companies where they were either burned or they thought they were burned. And what
do you mean by burned?
So we look at it like this. I try to dive in and I say, hey, okay, we can't, don't compare us to them, and we can't repair the damage that was done. But can you explain to me how you think you were burned? And so there's one person who maybe just, hey, someone promised him the world, gave him the money, and that guy just disappeared, right? There's burn one. Right. And the other burn is maybe this guy was actually a lead gen provider, said he could do this, but he didn't. He couldn't get him quality leads, or maybe the client wasn't set up properly on the back end, right? Like me and Andrew always tell these people, hey, we can get you as many leads as you want, but if you're not properly set up to handle the follow-ups or have infrastructure with the CRM or a team behind the scenes, then it's not going to be worth it, because you're going to be just running around with just more leads.
It's just a sheer defeat.
If you can't convert, then that's the issue. So we need to kind of get in to your system to see how you're set up to be able to see if we're a good fit for you, because a lot of people were just not.
Mm-hmm. And do you guys provide any type of hey, this is kind of what you need to have set up, right? Give hey, this is what our successful clients are doing. It's kind of like a blueprint.
Yeah, traditionally we mention a few CRMs that people are using. We will later this year. We're going to roll out our own CRM, which will be an extra package add-on or something to a campaign. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we have to make sure that they're set up correctly. Like, you can't just have these people on a notepad or on a spreadsheet on a computer. There needs to be some type of management system going on to where, hey, if you get a smoking hot lead and
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
the person is willing to just give away the house, and then you try to call them and they don't answer the first time or the second time, there needs to be a proper follow-up automation in place to where you don't have to be on your phone or on your computer trying to keep reaching out, where there can be an AI that's just doing that for you. And eventually, who knows, a day or two from now, they're calling back in to get back in touch with you. So we guide them in the right direction. But some people in this business have been in it for 10, 20, 30 years and don't want to listen to, us because they think what they've been doing is still the 1990s.
Sure. Drew, what do you think are some of the mistakes that folks make when they want to get in and start trying to do their own SEO or their own Facebook ads? I mean, what kind of horror stories have you heard?
Yeah, so I mean, from when usually Craig gets the wholesaler side of the people's horror stories, and I look at the others, and a lot of companies in the industry, they may be utilizing just tactics that can generate absolutely can generate a lead. However, the definition of what a lead is probably different to them and different to us. I'd say like the most basic one would be if they are running to like on Facebook leads, which is lead forms that exist on the Facebook platform. So the great thing about that is it's all in the platform. The user doesn't have to leave the app, like leave Facebook to be able to submit their information. So you get rewarded with that by Facebook and Meta because you're not sending them to a page that potentially they're trusting you that you're not going to install malware on their computer or that you're not going to have languaging on that page that is gonna cause them to have a negative view on Facebook because they got scammed from this Facebook ad. So Facebook knows that like, hey, we're controlling the data, we're controlling the journey, so we're gonna reward you with cheaper advertising costs. The downside with that is that most of the downfall is a lot of times there's not a lot of context you can add to those forms. It may just be name, email address, phone number, and then the property address, and at that point it automatically pre-fills the name, phone number, email address based on the profile information. So they get a lead, but is that email that they created the Facebook account with, is that necessarily the email they use every single day? Is it an email they even have access to? Is the phone number the same that what they created their account with? And also, it's just such an easy process. And I say easy in a negative way. When someone can just submit their information, how much motivation does that really show if it's just clicking one button? So that's one. That's the main downside is people say I am getting leads at a good volume, but the people aren't picking up their phone. They're not answering the email, and the lead quality is what they complain about the most. And then it goes also to when people use external landing pages. We look at so many people just using maybe carrot sites, things like that, and it just collects the name, email address, and phone number and the address of the property. And sure, that if they do have to type it in, that will show more context. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really give the level of context to the lead that we would justify a lead. So we like to create funnels with multiple steps, multiple questions, yes or no questions that really show definition. They have to give context into why they're looking to sell the property. And when we start asking those questions and people are willing to type a sentence or two, it shows so much more motivation that they're actually interested.
They're taking the time,
Especially when they say, I'm 3 months behind on payments, right? And that's why I need to sell the house. And we get stuff like that once a week.
Sure.
Or they say, there's a medical emergency in my family and I need to sell this house. Like when you have that level of context, that helps so much. And we can cater this funnel for our client. So what's their exit strategy? Is it just wholesale? Are they also a realtor? Do they also do fix and flip? Then they also do some like type of creative deals. Based on that, the funnel may look completely different for everyone's business. While most companies are using a one size fits all solution, not only we do everything we talked about, but we cater that funnel specifically to our client's business. So we've had guys as specific as saying, I don't want houses that have swimming pools. I don't want houses that have solar panels. And we can ask yes or no questions that says, does this house have a swimming pool? If they say yes, they cannot complete the form, right? Or it can be as broad as just letting everything through. What that does is we have our pixel on the back end, which is what's learning based off the data we send it. And we're able to say, hey, Facebook ads, you're doing a good job when they answer the questions the way we want them to. When they answer the questions ways we don't want them to, we say you're doing a bad job. And because it's an AI robot, it wants to do a good job. So it says, 10 people who came through this funnel all say they don't have swimming pools, and I got good signals. I'm going to go learn and all of a sudden pick up on what is unique about someone who owns a swimming pool. What websites do they visit? And then it starts targeting those people. And then over time, our results actually improve month over month when we work with someone because of that data process. And then at the same time, Craig and I, every single week, will analyze all the data of the funnel and see where potentially there's opportunities. People are leaving the funnel at this question. So maybe we should move that question somewhere else in the funnel or potentially word it a different way. Or if 100% of people are all saying, I don't have a swimming pool after a month, maybe we don't even need to ask that question, right? Because there's just not a lot of swimming pools in this area, and just say the funnel is now shorter, so we're going to get more people through it. So that's what makes us unique. So where a lead is not created equal, some people, a Facebook form that autofills their name, email address, and phone number, they'll consider that a lead and sell it to you. But that's what we like. Our leads, they have to complete that entire journey and give the level of context that we consider a lead.
Okay, and that was going to be my question. Like, what do you guys consider a lead? I think you just answered that. It's someone who completes that whole journey.
And it's a journey catered directly towards your specific business. So, John, if you the way your dispo strategy is, whatever is your exit strategy, we cater the ad to be exactly what you want. If you live in an area where there's a lot of mobile homes, we'll make sure we add a question, and you don't want anything to do with them. We'll make sure we add a question: is this a mobile or manufactured home? And kick out anyone who answers that yes. And that will also do two things. It will make it so that you're not wasting your time calling mobile homes that you don't even know are mobile homes. And two, it will train our pixel not to target mobile homes for your campaign.
Well, also it affects your cost per lead and everything, right? If you're getting a bunch of junk you don't do anything with, I mean, you're basically, it still is going to cost you in the whole scheme of it all.
Exactly.
Trending, right? Trends. What do you see happening in the business right now? Whether it's on the SEO or the marketing side, whether it's, you see what clients are more focusing on, like maybe they're absentee owners with XYZ. Like, what do you guys see?
I think from the data, we see a lot of people who are getting divorced. So I don't know. Now, we don't ask them a question of like how old they are or whatnot, but we just feel like that when we see that context on there, we ask them the question of, hey, what's going on in your situation? And they say divorce, then we know that, okay, someone, they jumped too soon to buy this property, or maybe, whatever the situation is. It's just, we see a lot of those are very common, very hot leads, by the way. They do take some time because usually there's a prenup or a divorce decree that needs, to go through the court, but we see that quite often. So yeah, I'm not sure if it's just, I mean, to be honest,
it's the economy.
Yeah, true. Yes. And then I think, I don't know, like back in the day, it was more common, I think, to be married younger than it is now. It just seems like, I have a lot of friends from high school and whatnot that are still single or that have not been married yet. So I think it's more common now than when it was when our grandparents were young. Everybody got married at 19 years old, like everybody. Yeah. So
when I was in the data game, divorces were always prevalent right after New Year's and right after Christmas, because people and after Thanksgiving, because all the families get together. Someone has a little bit too much. Things come out. But I've heard that too, though, with the economy the way it is, with the stress on people, and I mean, heck, a dozen eggs cost $8, $9. I mean, it's ridiculous. Yeah. So these little things are just like putting stress on the families. But I agree with 100% what you said. It's not the same when our parents grew up. people
Yep.
don't
So we see a
do.
lot of that. Also, I think we see a lot of just tired landlords.
Mhm.
Yeah, just
Bad
situations
tenants.
like that. Lost
Yeah.
their
People
job.
not paying their rent, right? Because everything's so expensive, and then we're talking to the people who own the property who are looking to sell it because they have tenants who aren't paying their rent, and they're just
Yep.
looking to offload it.
It's a downfall. So what makes your guys' lead gen your business different than others? Like what makes you guys stand out than
Yeah.
other folks I can go buy leads from?
I think one of the main things is for one, I tell everybody this. I'm like, hey, I don't care if you do business with us or not. Well, I do want you to do business with us, but one way or another, if I'm not a good fit, whoever you're going to choose, make sure they are in the real estate game. They understand what is what, because less is more in this industry. The more
Yep.
leads anyone gives you, it's too much work for you and they're not of quality. But
Right.
if you can do business with somebody who can show you their rental portfolio, show you the HUD statements, show you they've done deals and they have been in the business in your shoes, then you're going to be guided in the right path.
Yeah.
For somebody who is just coming from a marketing background that knows nothing about real estate, yeah, they can talk the talk, but when it comes down to, hey, putting something in front of a seller that's going to convert them into money, you need to just take the path of the person who actually can show you both avenues, not just one.
Got it. And Drew?
I'd say one is, you know, they get the advantage of having me. I'm running the ads, right? And
I love the
how
confidence,
often,
man. Let's go.
how many people have someone who spent $100 million on the platform? And so I have A-list level Facebook reps from Tel Aviv, as Israel, which not many people have access to. I've whitelisted ad accounts that most people have a hard time advertising on Meta in real estate because of it's a pretty strict category of advertising. So
Mhm.
we have that benefit of whitelisted ad accounts. Um, Two, I think the data that we've accumulated, like we've been running these ads for now years in our own market. Like we were really working in the Houston market for a long time. So that our pixel has years and tens of thousands of our own dollars invested into generating these leads. Now, let alone the access to that pixel we give to our clients. And then all of their data also funnels into it. So now it's like all ships rise together. The data piece is something that really is important that a lot of people overlook. Like the pixel that is deciding who to show your ad to, and that's tracking and reporting and learning who a motivated seller is and that
Sure.
profile of them. And then I'd say lastly, the difference is we started at the very beginning doing what everyone else was doing, and we were like, we can get some clients doing pay per lead where a guy comes in for 10, buys 10 leads from us, and we give him the 10 leads and we never hear about from them again. And then we hear so many of the horror stories about the pay per lead, and it's just like, okay, I generated 10 leads, I marked them up 2-3x, and then I'm just offloading them to a wholesaler where we found that like doesn't give long-term value, and it doesn't build a relationship, and we want to build relationships when we work with. So being able to cater and develop a inbound marketing source for you that improves over time, and over time becomes more value to you, and is predictable and repeatable forever, versus just saying I need 10 leads, those 10 leads didn't work, all right, that Facebook ads don't work. That's what people say, right?
That's what most people do.
Yep. So being able to build a system that's catered directly to your business, that's predictable to generate leads, and most of our people are getting one a day, right? Depending on how much ad spend they're spending, but one a
Sure.
day that's catered directly to you, and then we're able to scale that and improve it over time. And that's different. Our goal is to have one legit badass wholesaler or investor, whatever we want to call it, in every market, and them to stay with us forever. We don't want to be working in 3 guys in Phoenix all competing over the same leads. We want to own all the leads in every market and have one person that's benefiting from our work, and one partner. So we do everything exclusive, one person per market, and because that's the way we want to do business.
Real fast, one or two things for both you guys. What advice would you give someone? And I guess Craig, I'll talk to you first. Your advice about someone getting into flipping, wholesaling, whatever it is.
Yeah. Don't expect to get a deal in the first couple months. You got to work. You got to put that effort in. You need to hear no. You need to have the phone shut off on you and people slam the door in your face. You need to be cussed out. You got to develop that thick skin, because if you don't, and if the first deal comes too easy for you, the second one is going to be the biggest pain in your ass in your life. That's what happened to me. So, it's one thing to just wholesale or just do a deal or two or part-time or whatever, but it's another thing to turn this into an actual business that's profitable. It's just the barrier to entry is too low in this business. You don't need any credentials or really anything at all. You don't even really need much money, but there is a lot of people doing it for the right reasons, but with the good do come the bad. So I would say, yeah, just know you're going to go through the trenches before you get your first deal, but stick with it because it'll pay off. I promise.
Okay. Drew?
I'd say what someone who's kind of newer to this, and I have no experience personally doing it, but from what I've seen with our clients is.
But let's talk with you about advice for SEO. Like someone wants to get in and start doing SEO. I want to start doing the Facebook ads. I mean, what if they want to get digital? What advice would you give them to do first?
I would say the first thing you could do is there's a steep learning curve with it. A lot of people think they can just do it, and maybe a couple people hit the right thing and they're in a not competitive market and are able to have success. But I would say, there is a really steep learning curve between hiring an expert and doing it yourself. As much as 15 years in wholesaling or real estate investing versus someone who's just getting started, it's the same learning curve in just about any industry if you're in finance or that. So getting into digital marketing, I definitely recommend, talk to someone who's doing it and get advice from them before you start investing any money into yourself. And if you're going to hire someone who's going to be a service provider, like Craig said, make sure that they also have experience in your niche, in your market, because at the end of the day, every persona of someone you're trying to target, unless you have something that can cater to everybody, right? Like if you're selling weight loss, you're good. Like good on you. Everyone would love to, everyone is pretty much a client, but depending on what your niche is, make sure you talk, if you're working with an expert, that they have some experience in that field, either marketing it or personally working in it, because it's not one shoe fits all, and there's a very steep learning curve, not just on the platforms and the techniques, but also in learning and catering and speaking to that exact demographic that you're looking to hit.
Or guys, if you don't like to do stuff like that, you hire someone like Drew.
Or you can hire someone.
And let them do it for you.
Yeah.
Well, hey guys, I truly appreciate you being on here, man. You guys dropped a lot of good stuff, and I hope everybody that's listening got a lot of good nuggets and took some good notes. If they want to get a hold of you guys, they want to talk about maybe utilizing you for some of your services, what's the best way?
Yeah, absolutely. They can just go to our website or our Instagram. It's just leadhouse365.com and at leadhouse365.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and any of the links and stuff that you'd sent to me, I'll put in the show notes. So you guys all have a link to be able to get in touch with them and definitely take advantage of it if that's something that you have interest in. I hope everyone had a good show today and look forward to seeing you guys on the next one.
Absolutely.
Cheers.
Appreciate you guys.
All right. Thanks, John.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.